Couldn't get it up. I couldn't get it up this morning. I guess you're getting tired of this stuff. Is my mic on? Yeah, it's on, okay. They're getting tired of me coming on here talking about their wars. Unfortunately, I don't really have a choice. I wasn't given a choice. Alien Jesus didn't give me a chance. Didn't give me a choice. I'm supposed to be here and talk about your mama till y'all kill me. That's how it goes. I wish I had a choice, but I don't have a choice. So they were messing with my desktop. I couldn't get it going. The bandwidth couldn't get it up. Laptop needed Viagra. Mic wasn't working. But I'm here. I ain't giving up. Like Cat Williams said. Trying it. Don't quit. Try it. Don't quit. Don't watch Cat Williams. That's he's a little deep. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Georgia. Good morning, Debbie. Looks like maybe Facebook notifications work today. I think it's Facebook birthday. And the Facebook birthday or something, isn't 15 years or something? I thought I saw. Good morning, Brother Daniel. Let me see. Let me share this out. Thank you for sharing, people. Who knows when they're going to shut this off? It's like I don't have a choice. And it's funny. Does anybody talk to their laptop like me? I talk to my laptop. I just sit here because it's not really the laptop I'm talking to. I'm talking to the deep state. I'm talking to the CIA and NSA and everybody. It might even be AI by now. There's so much technology they have. We don't even know what the hell is going on half the time. Who's watching this? I talk to them all the time. Like, look, guys, we're on the same team. Stop playing. Stop playing. Get out my laptop, damn it. We all gonna die. Stop it. Y'all on our team. You're human. You breathe. You got biology. It's supposed to be free. I'm gonna talk about reality today. Reality. Good morning, Maha in heaven. Good morning, Deborah. And good morning, Debbie. The awakening is what jumped into mind. There's your intro lines. Yes, Debbie. I think about the awakening all the time. We're gonna wake these sleepy people up. They don't want to sleep. Like, I'm in the box. I'm in the box. You know, like, because we used to have this saying, Debbie, we used to have this saying, corporate America, think outside the box. You know, we could think outside the box for a corporation and a paycheck, but people can't live out their box. They can't live out of their little political boxes, their realities, the fake realities that they're born into. I want to talk about reality today but there's a whole bunch of interesting things in the news once again, but there always is. I just don't have time to talk about everything. So we'll go through it. I don't know what's going on YouTube this morning. Am I being blocked on YouTube? I don't see nobody down. Let me see. Uh-oh, it says checking status on YouTube. I don't know, guys. I try to get it up. Oh, no, YouTube is up. Okay, it's up. There's 3 people there, but they don't want to talk this morning. Okay, y'all don't have to talk. Y'all can be moody. It is a human right to be moody. Sometimes people don't want to say good morning. They don't want to say hi. I don't want to speak. But I was raised, I didn't have a choice. My culture, like, I don't have a choice to not be in the good fight. I also didn't have a choice growing up as like speaking to the adults. You know, you walked into a room, if the elders were in the room, you spoke to everybody. There was no walking in with an attitude, YouTube. You had to speak to everybody. You had to greet them. They were sirs and ma'ams. That was the reality I was raised in. Actually, it was a good reality. We were taught respect. We respected our elders. But you know what? I don't judge people that weren't. It's not my place. That would be my manner supremacy, seeing how y'all like that word so much. It's like the supremacy apocalypse. Everybody likes this word supremacy now. And I'm just like, you know, like a sister asked me the other day, she said, people say, you know, they ask me sometimes, why are you always hard on the government? Well, your government is hard on Yemen. Your government is hard on the Congo. Your government is hard on women. Your government is hard on the poor. Your government is hard on immigrants. Your government is hard on the people who live here. Your government murdered too many people. So but she said, you're not too hard on them. She said, you won't call out white supremacy. I said, you know, sis, that might be a thing for you. That might be the reality you live in. It's not the reality I live in. I'll tell you about my reality. My reality, black supremacy. My reality is Washington, D.C., the area that had the largest population of middle-class African Americans in the United States supremacy. My supremacy is American supremacy. North American supremacy. Might even be some damn Earth supremacy. I might even have microbiology supremacy. Damn it, I might have human supremacy. I step on ants everywhere I go. Get them off my plants. They like to farm aphids on my plants. So the supremacy I think about is my own. And so I feel like a hypocrite if I rant and rave about white supremacy, and I live in a world that has, to me, has nothing to do with white supremacy. It has to do with elite supremacy, number one. They're the ones who murdered everybody and colonized everything, and they came in every shape, size, color, and religion. They're just psychopaths. Psychopath supremacy. So I don't really focus on stuff like that. Like, to me, I feel like a hypocrite if I'm whining and complaining about the birth I was given, and my birth is based on the domination of people that don't even have American supremacy. So I don't get into that. I think about my supremacy. I think about Gerard's supremacy. That's what I'm gonna talk about today. but you know, it's related though. It's the reality. Everybody's in their own reality, and I'm not. That's your thing. If you into the race thing, then good, you go do your race thing, y'all. Y'all go on with your ass up. If you're in the American supremacy thing, you know, where the whole world is supposed to bow to you. That, you know, Guantanamo is full with bad guys, bad gals, or people who were just born in a different place than you. Invaded their nation, and they stood up and fought back like you would if you had any cojones. Guantanamo is just full of poor people, like all the prisons in America, like all the prisons all around the world. So it's all about what reality do you live in. But I don't live in those realities. Like, I'm constantly trying to get out of these boxes that my birth put me in. I don't give a damn about your box. I don't, you know, I was born in a Christian box too. I got a little Christian supremacy, got a little bit. But I'm trying to get out. Oh, did y'all hear about, they done found a 1,200-year-old Bible? Where my Christians at? Where my scriptural people at? They done found a 1,200-year-old Bible. We might look at that. But I was gonna talk about reality this morning, right? This is the Cuban city behind me. Y'all know what this is, don't you? We talked about this a little while ago. Something crazy happened on this planet over 10,000 years ago, and very few times are we allowed to even know what happened. Very few times are we allowed to know. Were our ancestors just crazy? Did they see all kind of flying in the air and alien Thors with hammers that could do magical things? And, you know, did they have the ability to build pyramids and do things that just boggle the imagination? Everybody's got their own reality. I'm doing my best not living in any of your boxes. I don't like your boxes. I don't like you. But I don't like your boxes, and I don't like your reality. I think that whatever happened on this planet going back before 10,000 years ago, the people who run everything right now, the corporations that own the nations, because nations don't exist, the corporations that own interest in the land that you call a nation, they don't seem to want anyone to talk about it. So this is the Cuban pyramids, right? They found a complex. What was her name? Siliki? What was that researcher's name? Her and her husband. They were off the coast of Cuba and they found the sunken cities. 15 years ago, they done found multiple pyramids. Some of the largest pyramids on the planet, 650 meters underneath the Caribbean Sea in Cuba. And they signed an agreement with National Geographic to explore the pyramids. They started exploring them. She started releasing little bits and pieces on her website. She said they found a Sphinx under the water. But it was an obvious city. And the last time it was dry was over 10,000 years ago, which meant it was built who knows how far ago, 20,000 years ago. But we're not allowed to talk about those things. And it's disappeared, right? This was 15 years ago. And now nobody talks about it. It's not in the news anywhere. Everything just went silent. What did they find? I think National Geographic doesn't make their money releasing these documentaries. Hell yeah, they do. But then everything got quiet. So whose reality do you live in? See, I live in a reality where the kings and the lords are always lying to always. They're always giving you box realities to get you other poor people to fight so they can research what happened on this planet thousands of years ago when all these religions got created, when the cargo cult started, when we began to worship, whether it's other civilizations, humans from the future, whatever it is, and created all these religions. I don't live in any of the realities. I'm constantly trying to evolve out of any box anybody's trying to put me in. But I think half the time that they're always looking at ancient archaeology and they're hiding it from us because they think one of the humans from the future dropped a screwdriver. One of the humans, the same thing Hitler was doing, right? Because that's why Hitler was so interested in archaeology, that he would commit tanks and airplanes during the war. No, don't go bomb them. Go find some artifacts. And I think that's why he did it. Yes, Terry, it's the bread and circus. Like they keep everybody focused in false realities, politics, money, survival, war, colonization, global. They keep everybody lost in these realities, these boxed realities, to keep them oblivious to who all of our ancestors were. Like I just found out, what is it? Y'all were posting it yesterday. At the time, I don't know what the political box reality acronyms are. It was SOTU, and I realized this morning, I was like, oh, I was watching something. It's like, oh, that's State of the Union. Oh, okay, I get it. And I was like, you know what? But that's not SOTU. It's supposed to be SOTE. Okay, there's no union. It's an empire. There's a difference. Not a union. It's an empire. And I went back and I was watching. There was some clip. We could look at it if y'all want to. There was some clip on RT. They were talking about the claps and the chants, and because I didn't watch it, I'm not in your political reality. Like I try to watch when somebody gets elected. Somebody was different, right? He wasn't a lawyer. He wasn't a criminal on Wall Street. Well, I don't know. Maybe he was a real estate reality TV actor. Twitter thug, right? And that was different to me. Like, if y'all elect a homeless person, I'm gonna watch politics for a minute, right? Y'all elect like a teacher, a stay-at-home mom. You elect somebody that doesn't look like the same lies and killers that are always in that office. I'm gonna pay attention for a little while, but now I'm starting to get a little restless. I'm not seeing enough difference. There's some things I'm not seeing enough difference. I'm still seeing empire, colonization, kill, murder, war, slavery. I'm still seeing that. Some things are changing. I think they said he talked about the First Step Act. I heard some highlights, but I didn't watch it, where he talked about freeing the slaves, Emancipation Proclamation, to come back and free the kids that they capture on the street that were born in box realities that required they unconstitutional laws to survive. He talked about that a little bit, I guess. That's what they say. But I don't live in that reality. I'm constantly trying to evolve into something better. I'm constantly trying to not let my birth location, my birth skin, my birth feet, my birth family, my birth religion, my birth region determine what I am. I want to determine what I am. So anyway, I'm going to talk about realities today. It was interesting, right? Empire Strikes Back, right, Chris? And that's what I saw. The few clips I saw, like they want to convince me that the Democrats and Republicans are fighting each other. And everything I see, they're going right along with each other. I don't see the difference. I do want to go and take a look at, outside of this 1,200-year-old Bible. I thought that was interesting. There's a couple things in the news. Let me see if I can show you the screen what I'm looking at. There we go. This is one of the things I want to look at. So yes, the 15th anniversary of Facebook. Let me go to that. This is the news, my watch history. These are things I was watching today. No pornography in my watch history. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I do that on another browser. You'll never see that over here. No, I'm sorry. Gotta be straightforward. But yes, happy birthday, 15th anniversary of Facebook. trials and tribulations of social media where we like to blame the tools. We love to blame the tools, don't we? We love to blame the users of the tools, and we never blame the system. We want to blame Mark Zuckerberg for writing a piece of software that captivates all of us. I think his profits went up. We can look at that. That might be kind of interesting. I thought some of that report was kind of interesting. Let me try to blow out the commercials. Valentine's Day, y'all get your your honey bunnies. Y'all get together. Make sure it's okay to send your man roses, y'all. Send your man roses.
Yeah, Mark wouldn't say that for nothing last year.
Transferred Facebook data to Cambridge Analytica in violation of Facebook's data policies.
Personal data mined from nearly 87 million Facebook users.
The largest security breach in...
I remember this was where they were mining the data and they gave it to Cambridge Analytica, and y'all were all worried about that, and you just forgot about the NSA. And everybody already got your data. They got everything. They know everything, but you got upset at Facebook. So you sucked the federal government on them, and then the federal government went in because he was working with Russia, and Russia was buying ads. And now we got censorship, and we can't even talk about ancient archaeology. We can't talk about honesty and truth and integrity. I mean, can't talk about hippie stuff. They deleted all the pages and all of that because y'all went after this guy for the tool and didn't blame the system. That's what this was. This is why we got
in the company's history.
This is a challenge for cloud companies.
And that was a big mistake. And I'm really sorry that this happened. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be sorry.
You'd think having to do so much damage control must have definitely taken its toll on Facebook. But apart from their 15th anniversary, Mark Zuckerberg and co. have another great reason to throw a big party. Not only they didn't lose money, actually they've set a record in profit for the final 3 months of 2018. It almost reached $7 billion. Privacy issues, illegal data harvesting, and not doing enough about what the Russians were up to. All attempts to bring the tech giant to account made people on Capitol Hill realize
the many, many times that Mark Zuckerberg has had to apologize. And the takeaway for me for that is that we can't rely on self-regulation, that Facebook is not going to regulate itself, and that we have to pass some laws.
Who is that? Is she in the government? And who regulates the government? They regulate themselves, do they? All right, listen, I know y'all, they're going to start attacking Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not attacking the guy. Like, listen, if I were Mark Zuckerberg, I'd probably do exactly everything he did. I probably would. Y'all be like, F Gerard Zuckerberg. If I were born in Mark's reality and I and I created a tool that made billions of dollars. I want you to tell me you wouldn't do the same. I want somebody to tell me who you would not do the same thing he did. So first of all, I don't believe in attacking the little people on the totem pole. And while Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know where he fits on the totem pole. He doesn't fit in my attack zone. He's not in my attack zone at all. He's not nowhere near. I just look at things people say and I just say, that don't make no damn sense. So if she's in the government, they need to write laws to regulate Facebook. First of all, I don't really believe her. I don't believe that a non-regulated government would actually want to regulate someone else, but they believe in regulation. That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. It's an empire. They got their own little empire. Facebook's got their empire. YouTube got their empire. And they're all controlled by oligarchs. I just don't believe in blaming the tool. I'm not a tool blamer. Like I said, I don't blame the gun. When somebody gets shot, everybody blame the gun. The gun did it. The gun did it. Get the AR-15. Get the gun. I don't believe guns shoot people. I don't believe social media censors people. I don't believe nukes. I like this whole nuclear proliferation. I guess that stated empire, they were talking about that too. I don't believe in that. Why are nukes the problem? Or is it because you keep electing a psychopathic government? Is that the problem, right? Are guns the problem? Or we keep raising children to be psychopathic because we starve them into poverty and force them into a survivor box? You know, it's just, so I'm not into blaming the tools. Let me keep going. So talking about regulating Facebook, which is what I'd rather have one psychopath run Facebook than a guild of 500 psychopaths in Washington that work for bigger psychopath families, 12 of them that run the world. I'd rather Facebook
for
do its
now,
own
realizing and saying that way too often hasn't led to much action. Is Facebook really being regulated? The answer is no. And with all that big money, could they care less? Well, to keep enjoying that comfort, at least for now, they once hired some very smart and influential people, like Joe Kaplan.
As the president...
We're going to start here, and this is what I'm saying. To me, it's like a learning thing. Like, think about it logically. If you were the government and you work for oligarchs and you were pretending to be Democrats and Republicans to control an empire, would you let a Facebook that has the half of the population on it, 1/3, 25%, 10%, half of your population, actually use a social media website without controlling it? Would you? Or would you pretend that you want to come in and control it?
It said in his remarks, the president laid out in his speech.
Yes, here's George W. Bush, and here's Mr. Kaplan.
Hey, Kaplan.
He used to have an important job in the second Bush administration. And here you can see what he's up to now, being called Facebook's policy boss. Who else would be behind Zuck's shoulder at all these troublesome government hearings?
Republicans.
Now, that is him again, alongside Mariah Jordan, the tech giant's director of public policy. Guess what? She worked for the White House administration too. Anything from the Democrat era? There you have it, Anish Rahman. He was once in charge of writing what President Obama says. Here they are.
An American century, welcoming of everybody who aspires to do something more.
Oh, that was emotional. Well, nowadays he's dealing with economic and social impact issues at Facebook. And that's just a few such career twist examples. It helps to know people. I mean, even better if the people you know more right people.
This is why I don't blame Zuck. I don't blame him. It's never how we think it is. It's never, ever, every time I think how I think it is, the only thing I get right is that they're always all lying and they're always all together. Right? Facebook has been regulated for a very long time. Like, I can see the buffering right. They were messing with my mic yesterday. They've been turning this thing off for a long time because I don't fit in one of their boxes. See, they need me in a Democrat box, right? They check these little boxes. They're like, he's a little weird. They call me black. I'm not a color. I ain't none of your crayons. They say, he's black. He's weird because he's Christian, but he's in this economic status. He should fit in this category. If you don't fit in the box that they put you in, then you're an outlier. You're a rebel. You're a domestic terrorist. And they don't want you to actually say anything because you don't fit in any of the boxes of the empire. But this was an enlightening thing for me. Like, we've known this, right? Even before they mentioned the whole, what is it called? The NATO's group, the Global Alliance that controls the content on Facebook. We already know that. We already knew that they were kind of in control. But it goes back way before that. Our government's always multiple steps ahead of us because they're not our government. They're our wardens. They're our shackle holders. We are merely chattel to them. Fit in the boxes and the realities that they need us to fit in to keep the empire marching. That's why I say I don't believe. Yes, Christine, to be an outlaw. Be an outlaw. Be an outlaw. Don't trust the laws. Be an outlaw. Don't trust the laws. But also don't blame the tools. Don't blame the tools like they were talking about nuclear weapons today. That was another thing. I don't care about the treaties. I don't care about the treaties because nuclear weapons aren't dangerous. You can use them to blow up an asteroid and protect the Earth from the calamities that always come that probably sunk this city back here in Cuba. The one that they're looking for the screwdriver and the iPad from 40,000 years ago. The one where they're still looking for that UFO, because Thoth, he could have actually put his UFO under this Sphinx. May not be the Egypt Sphinx, might be this Sphinx. You never know. But what reality do you live in? And it is very critical to really think about it. Do you live in a reality where nuclear weapons are the problem? Or do you live in a reality where giving nuclear weapons to psychopathic elite governments and giving them militaries is a problem? Captives. Yes, Brenda, we're captives. We're captives, but not everybody sees that. We are captives. Oh, I want to show you something. Oh, here's a good one. This guy. Oh, turn that down. That's too loud. Here's a good one. Here's a good captivity one. Did y'all see this? Y'all got the trigger? The left and right here.
Has provoked an angry reaction from President Trump's family, no less, who've labelled it as sexist. It's called Ivanka Vacuuming, and it runs for 2 hours every evening at the Flashpoint Gallery. The piece features a model dressed up to look just like Ivanka Trump, pushing a vacuum cleaner back and forth across a pink carpet. It goes on for hours. Nearby is a pile of breadcrumbs, and visitors are invited to toss said breadcrumbs onto said carpet so that the Ivanka double can then clean it all up again.
You guys see this? Hang on. So Ivanka sits there in the art thing, in the art museum, and she pushes the vacuum back and forth. And then people come in, and I guess most of them are from the left or something, and they get like food and rice and crumbs that they could get to homeless people so they don't become psychopaths and kids that they're starving in trailer parks and ghettos all over the planet, and throw the food on the floor, and they make this woman vacuum it up. So I got a couple things I got to say.
The left has no respect for women. Unbelievable. Not only is this disgraceful and humiliating towards Ivanka, but this is humiliating to the woman that has been hired to impersonate Ivanka. What kind of society have we become?
We become a society based in money where we survive and we die if we don't have money, and she don't get paid a bunch of money to sit out there and pretend to be Ivanka like a slave and vacuum up food throw on the carpet so they can get their jollies and they can take selfies, and I didn't fed the slave, I threw food on the slave, vacuumed it up. That's the society we live in, that people do any damn thing they need to get money to put biscuits on the table and bring home the bacon. That's the kind of monoculture, psychopathic, crazy, loving money society.
No, seriously, this is a thing, and yet another example of progressive privilege. Art exhibit invites people to throw trash at vacuuming Ivanka Trump.
I'm sorry. Can we talk about progressive supremacy? Progressive supremacy, where you whine and complain about the things in your nation while you're murdering and killing other nations. Where you got slaves all over the planet, growing your food, making your clothes and your shoes, so you can whine and complain about the other supremacists. You're a progressive supremacist. I know people get upset. They're like, pick a team. Whose team are you on? I got this jersey. I thought you was on my team. We gonna fight. I ain't on your team. I live in my own reality, y'all. I live in my own reality. I call things exactly as I see them. I don't need to be on your team because I'm not. I'm on the team of the earth, okay? So I'm gonna say things exactly how I see them, and you're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. But hopefully, what I'm hoping though, is that people join their own reality. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that you stop being in a progressive box, that you get out of your conservative box, your liberal box, realize you're better than the racial boxes and the religious boxes, and do your own thing. Use your brain to you must, and teach your kids to do it, so you can be a part of the human race of individuals, not in anybody else's reality. So look at this. This is this is a disgrace. It's funny to me because, you know, that's what art is for. Art is there to get some emotion and feeling. It'll get some emotion and some feelings, but it also is highlighting some very interesting things about our little silly reality, this political reality. A lot of adults that don't wear diapers are trapped in.
Trump lookalike.
I'm sure you've got your views either way, but before Ivanka Trump stepped into her role at the White House, she developed her brand as a businesswoman and working mother. She's responded to the art exhibit by saying that while some women prefer to knock each other down, she believes they should be supporting each other. As for the gallery, for its part, it says the piece is a visual celebration of a contemporary feminine icon and encourages people to question their relationship with her. We were joined by two commentators to discuss how appropriate this performance is.
What are you going to say? First of all, before they say what they're gonna say, I don't know who these commentators are, but I'm gonna say this. Ain't no way in hell, I'm just gonna be clear. I don't even know where this museum is. All right, my culture, ain't no way in hell I'm throwing any food on no damn floor. First of all, I was raised to believe that there's starving children in Africa. I grew up on UNICEF commercials. Cameraman had sandwiches and juice boxes and drinks, and they refused to give them to the children because they're looking starving and belly swollen out, and the reporter just eating sandwiches down to start the broadcast. We need to help the starving children, and this children like, I'm starving. Can I have that sandwich? You know, he wouldn't give him the sandwich, but I grew up at a time where you didn't throw food on the floor, not just because you weren't starving, because your mama beat the hell out you. That's why I done been beat with a switch. I done been beat with half a telephone pole. I ain't throwing, listen, if a woman is vacuuming the floor, I'm getting the hell off the floor. Like, you wouldn't even stay in the room. Like, if I was in the room and I was watching TV and mama came in there, we were watching TV, and she started vacuuming, we didn't just like pick our feet up and let her vacuum under. Oh, hell no. We got the hell up out the room. First of all, if you pick your feet up and your mama's vacuum under you, you acting like that she is your slave, that's a beat down. That's coming. It's a beat. Look, I get up from the table and we leave the room. You would not stay in the room. So food on no floor. That's like, to me, it's art though. I guess it's art. Not everybody's raised the same.
I think a lot of Americans see this as very, very political. I mean, they're entitled to their opinion, and I think everybody needs a voice. The one good thing I have to say is I think art stimulates conversation and it stimulates debate. I do think art, it should stimulate debate. What I find interesting is that the artist made this very ambiguous.
It seems that the Trump derangement syndrome has gone overboard, and certainly if they had done this with Michelle Obama, I'd like to see the art communities and the left's reaction to them putting Michelle Obama, for example, with a vacuum cleaner in her hand, vacuuming crumbs. I don't think it would have gone over quite as well with the regressive left, but c'est la vie, we're used to the hypocrisy on that side of the aisle.
All right, hold on. Let me stop. I just got a vision in my head. I got a vision in my head. I can turn the volume down. Oh, YouTube is here. Hey, y'all. Hey, YouTube. I can see y'all now. I didn't see your comment. All right, just stop. Pause for a minute. Just pause for a minute. Pause for a minute. Everybody think. Art room is set up. I got Michelle Obama in there. And say they put like the Aunt Jemima. Y'all ever served the Aunt Jemima syrup? Anyway, it's a carcinogen. You shouldn't drink it. Put it with and she got the do-rag on her head, and she vacuuming the floor, and you got a whole bunch of people on the right walking in there with rice and food and throwing it on the floor, and Michelle Obama is vacuuming it up. Do you know that we would be in a state of revolution right now? This world would be over. The world would be, nuclear bombs would be traded. I'm sorry. I just had to picture in my head. It's picture in my head. If they actually did that, oh my gosh, there's some hypocrisy. Who is this woman? I don't, half what she says I like, the other half I don't like. But she right on this one. She is so right. If y'all had Michelle Obama looking like some kind of a slave in an art vacuum, they just throwing food. Oh my gosh. I'd be in my bunker right now. I'd be in my, you know what? I'd be here on broadcast. I'd be doing this thing. And as soon as I see the news report come up, and let me go, brother. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Where's she vacuuming? Right about here. And I look at a picture like this, and I see Michelle Obama with a vacuum and a bunch of people throwing food over. Oh, I'm done. I'm in the broadcast right now. I'm going home. I'm getting in the bunker right now. Because it's going to be on. But we like our hypocrisy, y'all. We love our hypocrisy. The Trumps are all political prostitutes who don't know to switch on a vacuum. Catherine's right. Catherine's right. You can't doubt that. They have no idea. If you put a vacuum in front of Trump or his kids, they look at it like, the hell is that? Girl, they ain't home when they vacuum. But the interesting part is the Obamas would know how to use a vacuum. But do you think they vacuum now? Then ask yourself that question. I know everybody got the kings and lords they love to worship. You think the Obamas vacuum now? You think they know how to turn on the newer ones? You think they know how to give a command to a Roomba? No, hell no, they don't. I always say I laugh at it because the fight is always us versus them. Hold on, let me try to get YouTube. If I pause for a minute. Well, I'm not going to pause. I'm not like Ty. Some of these live walk away. They can go pee, do whatever they got to do. I can't do that and maintain an audience. I got to sit here and keep running my... I don't know why YouTube is not coming up. I see y'all over there commenting. Hold on, let me bring the YouTube family in. I feel like I'm being Facebook supremacist. I can't be Facebook supremacist. I'm going to bring this in here. All right, let me hit that. I'm going to try to do it because I see Brother Kevin is over there and I see Linda and Ish and Kia. The family is over there. Let me see. I got to stop talking for a minute, y'all. I can't chew bubble gum and pat on damn time, so y'all give me a minute here. I'm not like Ty, I'm not walking away to smoke or get a drink and rub it in your face. I'm actually trying to I'm trying to type. Remember my passwords, which is the creepiest thing, because I bet you they're watching right now and they got an AI that looks in my eyes and it knows where I looked on the keyboard or something. It knows my password. Like, this is just the dumb world we live in. And we want to keep these people in charge of us. All right, hopefully this does it, YouTube. There you go, YouTube is back. All right, I got it. They just messed with my laptop this morning, y'all. That's why it took me so long to come on here. All right, get that about right. There go Kevin. Hey, look, go Kevin. Everybody say, hey, Kevin. Hey, what's up, people? It's about 8 people over there. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. The family's divided, Mary. We got to bring them all together. The family is divided. Thank you for saying do it, Dee Dee. I appreciate it. We got to keep everybody together. Other things in news. Let me see. The racist attacks on the Obama family have never stopped. No, they have not. And the racist attacks on the Trump family either. It's all both sides. The problem with my audience is they come from all different sides. So I can't pick a team, otherwise I get in trouble. So I got to be honest. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I know some of the most anti-Trump. They hate the man because he's white. They had a black president, can't stand the fact that he's white, or they hate ism. They can't stand the fact that he's a Republican. They hate him for another ism. They can't stand the fact that he's an elite. I get that one. I understand. I feel that one though. But that's always been my position. I don't think the billionaires are ever coming to save us. I don't think that'll ever happen. Then there are people who hate him because he was a Twitter thug. I kind of like that one. I'm okay with the fact that he's a Twitter thug. That's different. Like, I've never seen that in the White House. Some people hate him because he had a reality TV show firing people. I'm cool with that one too. I've never seen that in the White House neither. Like I said, if I haven't seen it in there, then I'm thinking something might be different. Something might change. And I know, and it's part of my well-wishing and hope. Hope that oligarchs don't actually run all of this crap. So to me, presidents are more entertainment than anything else. It's just more entertainment because they all pretty much do the same. All the things that I care about, they do the same thing. What do I care about? I care about don't kill people, don't rape people, don't invade people, don't rob people. All the things Jesus told you you're supposed to care about. All the things Muhammad told you you were supposed to care about. All the things that Shiva said you're supposed to care about. All the things that, did I miss any gods? Any other gods? All the things that we're supposed to care about. The things that are supposed to be important to me. Like, the only reason I even pay attention to the Caesars is because they're doing all the things that my God, my culture, my scriptures tell me I'm not supposed to have a part of. Right? That's the only reason I even pay attention. And everything else, I don't care nothing about. I don't care nothing about. Because we can't get to level 1. We got to get to level 1 before we can talk like level 2. Level 2 might be like healthcare and prison system and all of those things. But we can't even get past level 1. Let people live so you can actually use them in our collective hive as a human race. In fact, that's going to lead me over to this brother right here.
Serbia. It's where Mansour al-Dafi, despite not knowing the language or anybody there, has been put after serving 15 years at the U.S. torture camp in occupied Cuba.
I asked for you for a minute, just for a minute, because you see people's faces and because you live in this box or this reality and you decided whether or not you like this person or you don't because of how they look. Just take yourself out of your fake realities for a minute. Take yourself out of your birth bigotries for a minute. And just listen to this brother speak. Imagine if you were born not in the place that you were. Imagine if you were born in the desert. Imagine if you were born in Yemen.
Guantanamo without any charge. Following Mansour's release, he has been contacted by former inmates in Saudi Arabia's prisons with claims of torture, claims echoed in this week's cross-party report that include a friend of Prince Harry's wife, Meghan Markle. Mansour's book, Art from Guantanamo, is out soon, and he joins me now via Skype from Belgrade. Mansour, welcome to Going Underground. Donald Trump predictably didn't mention Guantanamo at the State of the Union. It's existed around 17 years. How do you remember U.S. torture after being there 15 years with no charge?
Imagine a boy at 19 years old was shipped to Guantanamo to nowhere. It was like a cemetery. It was like we were not alive, we were not dead, but we were like in between life and death. So when we get there, I like from 2000, especially when you get to that Camp X-ray, then to Camp...
See, don't see his face. See your face. What were you doing at 19? If somebody invaded your country at 19, what would you do?
Delta, and when in 2003, when the interrogation started applying some torture techniques to interrogate detainees, and it was like hell, really. I watched some detainees lose their minds, break down. I mean, I was 19 years old. I didn't know why I was there. I didn't know for how I'm going to stay. We are totally disconnected to the world outside. I was really afraid, confused. Didn't know what's going to happen to me. We thought like they were going to kill us because the situation we were before at CIA or at the other detention, we thought is going, okay, they're going to interrogate us, then kill us. And they were telling us that. They said, we are going to kill you guys and put you in the sea. They told us, yes. He said, the world doesn't know about you here. We brought you here for the purpose of interrogation to get information we threw you in the sea. I mean, the atrocity, what I saw in the CIA black site, I thought, yes, why not? Because people get killed as nothing.
And force feeding is a U.S. policy in Texas right now for those seeking asylum. Trump promoted Gina Haspel to run the CIA, someone alleged to have run black sites from Guantanamo and Thailand. You know about black sites.
I was in the CIA black sites. What's the worst ever? Even when I talk about it, it breaks me. I mean, there was no limitation to what they can do to us. No limitation. Whatever they want. No limitation. Some what they can do to us. Detainees died under torture. I mean, you just become a ghost. You spend 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 1 year just blindfolded, loud music, naked, hang to the ceiling.
Being born in the wrong place. I can't watch the whole thing. I'm gonna give him the last couple words at the end of his interview. I'll post it and you can watch it. This is what we do. And this is why I speak up on this stuff, is because, no, it's not about racism. They don't give a damn about your race. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with economics. If you don't focus on the economics, then you get lost in everything. Economics. Everything is about survival. Everything is about economics and money and power. Everything has always been. This man is not there because they give a damn about his race. This man was in Guantanamo because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like everybody in Guantanamo. Like every child in a prison in America. They were in the wrong place at the wrong damn time. They were born in a reality. They lived out that reality and they paid the price for the realities that they were born in, because we as adults can't focus on the real problem, the economics that makes all of this evil happen all over the world. This is why the only reason Christ turned the tables over in the church, it was because the money changers were in it, the bankers, right? That's what controls the human race. It's always about money. It has never, ever, ever, ever at any significant level ever been about race, and it never will be. It'll all turn, because everybody that's your race, whatever race y'all might be, they'll turn on you. Given enough money, they'll turn on you. That's why we gotta stop. We gotta stop playing in the realities that the billionaires give us. Stop playing in the realities that the oligarchs give you. Break it down to the base level. If you want to fix the problems in the world, you gotta be good at root cause analysis, right? Nobody went to Africa to get slaves for race. They did it for color. This is historical. Why? Because the Irish slaves they had in the slave plantations in America, they didn't want to stay. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why is the Irish understand British word. The Irish like, hell no, you gonna take us to America? They was called kidnapping, right? They take the Irish because they had the whole Protestant Catholic war thing, and they took the Irish who on the poor streets of Britain, little kids, age of 5 or whatever, and the king wanted them gone, so he created the kidnapping law. He would nab the kids and get them the hell off his street because they look poor. And they sent them to America as an indentured servant. That's why people say, yeah, but they weren't slaves. Let me say, if you were 7 years old, you were a little girl, they put you on a boat and sent you to America, you're a slave. And guess what you're going to do on that boat full of men that don't see women for 3 months? What you think they're going to do to you? You may, most times you probably won't even make it to America. So you will die in captivity, which means you're a slave. So the Irish got there, and the thing about the dang Irish, they didn't want to stay. They're like, listen, I'm here 7 years. I worked for 7 days. I'm getting the hell out of here and blend in with the population. They look like everybody else. They were already Irish in America. And so what the elite, not the white people, the elite, what did they do? The less than 2% who own massive swaths of land competing with the poor whites, they said, we need to get some slaves because these poor whites, y'all slow, lazy, don't know how to work it. I'm sick of paying y'all salaries. They called the Arabs up, say, hey, Arabs, what's up going on? Y'all got some darker people because our slaves, they keep running away. They, I don't know, they think they're William Wallace or something. I don't know, they just keep running off the damn plantation. Arabs, yeah, we got some slaves and we got the darkest ones we can find. They look exactly opposite of the ones that run away from you, the population. So for the sake of money, not the sake of race, and the sake of color, they went and got them some slaves that were darker. Now they didn't get off the boat. They got to Africa, stay right on the damn boat. They wouldn't go beyond the slave port, protected by the black tribes that went and grabbed the other poor black tribes, the ones that didn't have guns, didn't have spears, the ones that didn't have military style like Shaka Zulu, to capture them. So the Africans would go get the poor, the weaker African slaves, and they would steal their women. They'd rape the hell out of their women. They would take the women into their tribe, and they'd take the men. Some of the women would make it, but they'd take the premium choice of whatever they wanted and the little girls, and they sent the men on the boats. Then they give the men over to the white folk, the poor white folk, because not the rich white folk. The rich white folk, they didn't get no boats. They didn't eat like dried food for, hell no, they didn't get no dried food for 3 months going to Africa. They stayed at home. And then they sent their butts back. So now everything is about economics. That's what I'm saying. Always focus on the money, people. Focus on the money. You won't solve anything until you focus on the money. And the other thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna get off of that because I don't talk about no race, but somebody asked a question. The people behind the race narrative in Washington right now, the premier people were the leaders of the civil rights movement after they murdered Martin Luther King. I should tell you everything you need to know. Go out to the FBI.gov and the redacted documents and find out that the Klan was working with the tops of the civil rights movement and murdered Martin Luther King. After that, it wasn't about peaceful marching. It was about something else. Right? These were the ones that were in league with Lyndon Johnson that were for empire. Everything is about money. They'll all turn on you if you follow the narratives they give you. Remember, the oligarchs that from the civil rights movement, the oligarchs from the other side, Democrats, Republicans, liberal, progressive, conservatives, all the oligarchs, they all agree on one thing: to keep us stupid and us fighting each other while they build an empire. And they hope they get a seat at the table in that big club that they're not in. Focus on the money or this stuff never stops. All right, anyway, let me go to the end last of what he was saying. Because he's just a kid they grabbed off the street. At 19, I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I was doing at 19? I was driving around in my car. I think I had a Volkswagen. I think I had did I have 19? 19, I was in college. I either had a Volkswagen Bug 1974, or I had that 300ZX, that Nissan little sports car. And I was riding around acting a fool. I wasn't sitting in Guantanamo because I live in a world full of adults who were just lost, completely lost to reality. So let me get to the last end of his statement. I want y'all to watch the whole thing. I'll post the link. Any man, any child, any baby at the age of 19 that doesn't even have a frontal lobe that protects his land when somebody invades, that we take and put in prison for 15 years of his life, we need.
You have to, there is free people in the world. There is people who cares in the world. I believe that. I strongly believe there is people who can do something, who will stand.
And now the UK is training and selling weapons and warplanes to Saudi Arabia to bomb your birthplace, Yemen.
They occupied my country. They put siege on my country. Our own people, children, women get killed almost every day. People suffer of malnutrition, poverty, starving. And it is really hurt so much when UK and United States government are providing Saudi Arabia with weapons because they are killing us, actually.
Exactly. And you see, I'm still going on race, and it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with money and minerals and power and oil. So no, and slaves because they were racist, because one of the biggest slave owners in the South, by the way, was black. Yeah, black. He owned over 120 slaves. I forgot his name. Somebody can go ahead and post a link. So it has nothing to do with race. Absolutely nothing to do with race. It's always about money. Y'all still going about race. It's always about money. They'll turn on you and sell you out quick as wise. Why Obama sold out. That's why Obama put AFRICOM in Africa. Why? Because they want the minerals. He sold everybody out there, and that's why Africa's being dominated right now, because he had black skin, and people believe they live in those realities, and they thought because he had black skin, he wouldn't sell out everybody in prison and sell out the continent of Africa, and he did. Don't live in that reality, people. I'm just trying to say, history. Read your history, y'all. Gotta read your history. I don't want to talk about race. I really don't. I don't, because that reality is so long ago. I used to walk around. I had, when I was in college at 19, I had my Malcolm X shorts. I had my African medallion, my dashiki, and I did all the sellouts in Washington that led the civil rights movement, because I didn't know at the time that they were the ones that were complicit with the people who killed Martin Luther King, and they're carrying on that violent, non-peaceful empire, the legacy of domination and division that keeps people apart. They only killed Martin Luther King for one reason. One reason. He let the race narrative go. It's the only reason they killed him. While he was on the race narrative, they kept him. Why? Because they need everybody in these realities. You can't go search the cities of Cuba 650 meters under the ocean if the people are united against the kings and the lords. You can only do that if they're lost and they're fighting, poor people are fighting each other so the kings can fill their coffers. Right? So don't get lost with the sellout stuff, y'all. Don't get lost there. It'll lead you astray. They're tags, exactly, Brother Jack. They're tags. Don't get lost in the tags, y'all. Don't get lost in the tags. That'll be the end of us. And it would be a damn shame if the human race went extinct because we believe the crap that we were born in, and we believe the psychopaths that are always running Washington, no matter what race they are. Like, it's just silly to me. Like yesterday, I got some people get upset with me. I'm fine with you getting upset with me. Y'all wearing white. Look at all these colonizers. Oh, well, we got a multiracial Congress. I'm just looking at all these colonizers in this state of the empire meeting. And they give us controlled opposition. And because they wear white, I'm supposed to be okay with them killing a bunch of people. Right? I'm supposed to be okay with them not giving a damn about the women whose lives they destroy every damn day. Telling y'all, look at the root cause. Don't get lost in it. Look at the root cause. They'll play you. Because it's not just Facebook that's a tool. We're tools. And they will use us. Race is a tool. Religion is a tool. All those divisionary, they're worse than any AR-15 you could ever imagine. We are tools. Don't be played. That's all I'm saying is don't be played. Look at this. They done found a 1,200-year-old Bible. Did y'all see this? All right, hold on. Where we at? There are a couple interesting things. That state of the empire, blah, 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 blah. Special place in hell. Right. For those who promoted the Brexit with no plan. Yeah, it is. You know what? I've realized that if I think hell exists, y'all. I don't know where it is. The only thing I can tell you is hell is big enough to hold most of the West. That's all I know. I don't know where it is. I know it's hot, and I know it's big enough to hold most of the and mostly people who affiliate with me as Christians. Oh, I'm gonna look at this. I didn't like that, but it's the truth.
Ever since One of the Flowers came around.
You yelling at me, fat baby? Oh, that's All right, get off of that. Look at this.
Deputy Prime Minister is seriously testing the country's already strained relations with France by meeting key figures from the Yellow Vest movement and also European election candidates from the so-called RIC group who want referendums to decide national policy.
Oh, hang on. Oh, it's Rebecca's birthday. How you take a pause, man? Happy birthday, Rebecca. Happy birthday, girl. I had to pause for a minute. Is Lori here? Lori's gonna like this one.
France has reacted furiously.
Brother Nick Greco here, he gonna like this one too.
This new provocation is not acceptable between neighboring countries and partners in the European Union. Mr. Di Maio, who holds government responsibilities, must take care not to undermine, through his repeated interferences, our bilateral relations, in the interest of both France and Italy.
Well, patience appears to be wearing thin ahead of the European Parliament elections in May. The election's seen as a battle between centrists like the French president, who wants closer EU integration, and populists like the Italian Interior Minister, who's pushing to challenge the political dominance of Germany and France. Luigi Di Maio says the Yellow Vest, which have been a thorn in the French president's side since November, have much in common with Italy's Five-Star Movement, which is currently the country's biggest individual party. He highlighted direct democracy and social rights as shared concerns.
This is when I think the world starts to change. Did y'all see that? Let's go back. Direct democracy. All right. Of course, Italy and France are getting into it over the Yellow Vest protest. I guess I don't know anything about it. What's that called? The Five-Star Movement in Italy, one of the biggest political parties. They're talking about direct democracy, and they're basically trolling France over the Yellow Vest direct democracy. If you don't know what direct democracy is, I think you need to look it up. I don't think Rebecca Rebecca's not there yet. I'm still working on Rebecca. I said, it's Rebecca's birthday. Rebecca, you should embrace direct democracy. It's a philosophy that you can vote for your damn self. It's a philosophy that you don't need killers in Washington to represent you. It's a philosophy that you don't need killers in Paris to represent you. That you actually can make your own decision if you want peanut butter and jelly today or if you want ham and cheese in your lunch. It's a philosophy that you don't need a king or lord to sign your permission slip. You don't need a legal guardian to walk you throughout this planet, that you can make your own decisions, that you can vote on the things that you want to. And so I think it's huge. I think it's huge. And Italy's, they're trolling France on it, but this might be something new, y'all. It might be something new that the world might start to embrace, this idea that adults can actually do it the damn self, as opposed to electing killers that always serve these oligarchs to run their countries. We might actually get countries back if we do this.
Well, leaders in Rome have been very vocal against the French president in recent weeks, with Interior Minister Salvini even urging the French public to get themselves an upgrade on Emmanuel Macron.
I hope the French can free themselves from a terrible president, and the opportunity will come on May the 26th, when finally the French people will be able to take back control of their future, destiny and pride, which are poorly represented by a character like Macron.
That's interesting, and I like the way he put that. Free themselves. Do you want to be free? What is freedom? Do you want to be free? Are you old enough to be free? Is freedom on your permission slip for life? Are you allowed to be free? Are you free in your country? That's the first part of the problem, is whether or not we can admit, are we free or not? You know, and that's why I like the direct democracy, and I like the Constitutional Convention. I like anything that's a peaceful solution that will allow us to start to build something better for the next generation. Anything, absolutely anything. I'm good on any idea that's not today, because the only other option is violence and revolution. If you don't think that this country is ready to go, it's ready to pop, and when America pops, the whole world is going to pop. That's why I'm saying this isn't for little children. This is an adult's game. The children that have been doing the politics stuff for a while, they need to stop. They need to go suck on a pacifier, go sit in the corner for a little bit, and let the adults who are trying to build a better world speak up, because America's ready to pop. You may not see it. I see it. I have friends on both sides, and they're ready to pop. Again, you go ahead and put Michelle Obama behind a vacuum. You impeach Trump, it's going to pop. And when it pops, the world isn't going to stand by, because the world hates you. Here's a reality, America. I need y'all to know this. I need y'all to listen in. The governments love the American government because your government sends them guns and bombs. Even Al-Qaeda loves the American government. Y'all saw that report. Yemen, the Yemen Al-Qaeda's happy because they're riding around doing donuts in the American military, where you thought it was an Obama thing, and it's not an Obama thing. Under the Trump administration, they're getting the guns and weapons. Nobody's going to say Trump is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood because that doesn't fit your narrative. But the governments love the American government. The people hate America. The people of France, the people of Europe, the people all over the world can't stand America. Revolution. They're not going to sit back and watch, y'all. They ain't going to watch. They're going to make sure we go down for the count. Why? Because we are the empire that oppress them and prevent them from having and running their own governments. So we can't pop. That's why I'm saying the kid, check your reality. It's time to run a check. Run a check on your reality. Let me go back and show you. I make sure that I give you the correct information. I'll show you the news. I'll show you exactly what's there. So Al-Qaeda in Yemen, they're happy. Riding around in American Humvees right now. Why? Because your presidents don't make these decisions. Something else I want to show you. It's a lot of stuff I want to show you. I'm running out of time. Where is this at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Here you go, Saudi Arabia.
Meanwhile, a senior U.S. general is calling for an investigation into allegations that American weapons are falling into the hands of al-Qaeda in Yemen.
Always have.
The head of Central Command, General Joseph Votel, raised the concerns to a Senate committee. That was after a CNN investigation which accuses Saudi Arabia and the UAE of transferring weapons to armed groups in Yemen.
We have not authorized Saudi Arabia or the Emirates to retransfer any of this equipment to other parties on the ground in Yemen. And as you are well aware, when we do provide equipment, whether it comes government to government or commercially provided, that the recipients do have to agree to certain stipulations on the use of those.
See, the funny thing, you moron, about weapons, guns, tanks, and bombs is that you're not ever going to control who has them, dummy. And we know this. I don't even know who that is. Stupid, silly fool. I'm saying that the children need to sit down, the adults need to step up. When you send these weapons to foreign countries, they will be used against the weakest, period. They'll be sold or they'll be used. And if the country doesn't have weapons, the same way in Africa as they gave the guns to the tribe to get the other Africans, the same way they did to the Native Americans, they gave the guns to get, you're always going to have a destabilized situation. You need to be a non-violent, smart thinking adult and understand how control and power works. Everybody wants power. Everybody wants control. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants to rule the world. When you take a nation that doesn't have this weapon and you send a bunch to it, it's always going to fall into multiple hands. But the reality is the Pentagon doesn't care. Neither does the military-industrial complex, because they usually fund both sides anyway. It's the chaos they thrive on, not winning. Like, the people are still on this gaslit American idea that, oh, we're supporting the troops. There ain't no support for the troops. They make sure weapons make it to all sides, so it's a great fight. Why? Because it makes you tribal and cheer and say your Pledge of Allegiance. Meanwhile, the weapons go to all sides.
With us on Skype now, Peter Wasserman, who is the senior researcher at SIPRI, that is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. It's nice to see you, Peter. We often talk to you when your global arms report comes out every year. With the research you do for that, is this situation of arms falling into the hands of Al-Qaeda, is that something you've been noticing already?
Well, I'm not very surprised that this comes out now. It is known already much longer that the UAE and Saudi Arabia have been supplying weapons to the different militias in Yemen, and for that matter also in Syria and in Libya. So that we now find very clear evidence that weapons also end up in the hands of other more extreme militias, including those related to Al-Qaeda, is not surprising at all. The surprising thing is more that the United States Department of Defense only now seems to make an issue of that.
Only surprise. You can watch the whole thing later. I'm running out of time, so I can't keep going. But you can watch the whole thing later, and it's no surprise. And you know what? There was a clip earlier, and I'll post the other clip where the brother was talking about that. But we get paychecks too. Al-Qaeda shows up to get their paychecks every week, just like you do. Get their weapons, their guns, their bullets, all paid for by the United States government of America, the United States taxpayer, to fight each other. But we're lost in this reality. That's what I'm saying. What reality are you in? Are you in the real reality, or are you in your own little construct because it's comfortable? I know it's ugly, but this is how the world works. These people thrive on chaos. These people are killers. Something else I wanted to show you. Another aspect of our monoculture. Turn the volume off. Another aspect of our monoculture are the fake highs that people need to do this. So this brother, he needs to smoke a cigarette. He's actually looking to see if there are any cigarettes in the seat. And if you see right here in that seat, that's where he left his baby. There is a baby.
Airport, next stop will be Superior. Please familiar yourselves for the emergency evacuation procedures, and as well as
he ran off real quick to get a cigarette. This guy is noticing that he walked off, left his baby here. He's knocking on the window, telling him, hey, you don't have time to get a cigarette. You don't have a time for your fake high because your job sucks and you're stressed. And the train pulls off with the baby on it. Create many, many things that happens in a sick society where people aren't happy and they have to have artificial highs to keep their day going. The train pulls off with the baby.
Oh, we got the baby on board.
Yes, we got the baby on board. Sick. But that's the society we live in, y'all. This is the monoculture we got. We're either going to keep running with this idea of everything is about money and money needs to go away, power needs to go away, or everything is about race and political party and politics and all of this nonsense that people come up with. The nonsense that keeps the narratives going, that keep the global empires in place. Let me do comments. I'm gonna get out of here. There's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to look at, but I haven't watched the State of the Empire address. I'm not really that interested. I've kind of seen enough. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy, but that's the world we live in. People are forced to survive, and this is the box that we want to keep for the moment. I watched Roman Light of the Yellow Vest movement about RIC, very inspiring. Yes, Kia, it is inspiring. It's very inspiring, this idea that adults become adults again. RIC, it's really inspiring, direct democracy, that adults get to make their own decisions in life again instead of having representatives. It would be very interesting to see what a world looks like where adults make their own decisions instead of worshiping these kings. This is the white noise that obscures the path to personal fulfillment. Lots of white noise, and everything they do, everything they can do, Kevin, to keep us in our boxes, everything they can do to keep us in our little racial and our little national, our religious fences. Everything's about control. I like a good hood ornament too. You know what you're talking about. Let me see, what do we got? I never left my baby out of sight in public place. Kimberly, neither did I. And the thing is, and people will watch that and they'll blame him. And I don't blame them. Like, I get it. Like, do you know stressed people? Like, you ever get stressed to a point where you're trying to do 8 different things at the moment and you can't focus, and you forget about the most important things because you're trying to juggle all of these things to keep going in this evil little monoculture society because you're born in a reality or a box that it's just too much. That would be my birth privilege, my birth supremacy. I judge that, man. I judge the society. I judge the system. I judge the fact that parents aren't parenting. If kids were most important to us, we would make sure that they all have what they need. I'm not a big believer in 2 parents working. I'm not a big believer in anybody working, to be honest with you. To me, your greatest job is to be a parent. Your greatest job is to know what Kimberly knows, right? Your greatest job is to raise the next generation to be smarter, to be more equipped, to make better machines and automation to support human life in the environment and to take us into space and to do all the things that allow me to retire comfortably and you to retire comfortably. right? I don't think your job is to make a big corporation billions of dollars or millions of dollars. To me, that's insanity. You know, but parents are forced to do that, working 4 and 5 jobs just to put bread on the table. In a time that we have robots and automation, they don't have to. A lot of kids die because the parents aren't parenting. And I don't necessarily blame them, but I'm like you, Kimberly. Nope, I never let my kids out this. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody. Those are my guys. I don't trust nobody. They're growing up. They're like, Daddy, can we go spend the night at Johnny's house? And I was like, who Johnny? Johnny who? What's Johnny's last name? Do I know Johnny Daddy? Do I know Johnny Mommy? I had to know everybody. Listen, tell Johnny Dad to give me a call. Give me his number. Tell Johnny to give me let me talk. I need to know who my kids are around. When they were little, oh, I didn't let them. They was the most not spending the night at anybody's house kids on the in the neighborhood. I kept my eye always on them because I know what your government is doing in America. They're starving people and they're raising psychopaths because they're trying to work so damn hard. So no, Kimberly, I never took my eyes off them, boy. I never took my eyes off them. But I barely trust them with their mama. I was like, what you do to my son? What you say to my son? You know, but she's a little tough. She'd come right back at me, you know. But no, I never took my eyes off of them. But I had that privilege. I had the privilege that I actually had a decent job where I actually could watch them. I could spend more time with them. I didn't have to go out drinking on Thursdays and Fridays and get drunk to wake up in the morning to go do my job for an enslaving corporation, right? So this is what I'm saying. Everything comes back to money, y'all. Everything comes back to money. Everything comes back to economics. Yeah, I didn't know. I let my boys go nowhere. My job to temporarily, while they're in my remit, was to raise them to be better than I am, to give them everything I got, to give them the best of this world. And that's the exact opposite of what your systems in government want to do. And people, they'll watch and they're like, yeah, well, you're talking socialism. No, I'm not. I'm talking speciesism. You either want your species to do well or you don't. And no, I don't actually think the answer is capitalism. No, I like free market capitalism, and I think it had its place. That place is gone. Why? Because survival of the fittest has to go away. You can't let people die because they don't have what they need. You can't let children die and starve because they were born in a certain spot. They weren't born in the box you were born in. That's foul. And socialism ain't the answer either. You don't take all the resources of the land and give them to the government. That's just as dumb. To me, none of those systems make any damn sense. In communism, we live in a different world. We have ecosystems that everybody needs to thrive on. The type of government we have, I don't think exists. But that's why I like direct democracy, because it allows everybody to act like a hive mind, and they can kind of vote for the things that they want to vote for, and we collectively get to where we need to go. I don't like the idea of whoever's in power gets to dictate the oppression on everybody else. I don't want the black folk in power. I don't want the white folk in power. I don't want the poor folk in power. I don't want the rich folk in power. Everybody should have input in the world that we build and the type of governing that we have, until we have no government. That's where Rebecca and I are 100% on the same page. I am an anarchist, y'all. I'm sorry. I think that I have no rights to tell you how to live. It's coming. Didn't think I'd ever feel it this strong. Not in my lifetime. Something is changing, Daniel. I don't know what it is. Something is coming. Some things are changing. The whole world knew 2 years ago our government is the human trafficking ring. It is, Jack. You know, and whether directly or indirectly, everybody in Congress is complicit. That's why I said I don't care about their white shirts. I couldn't give 2 damns about their white shirts. They're complicit with all of it. All the human trafficking and sex slavery and everything that happens on this planet, they thrive in destabilized environments. And that's the #1 job of the military-industrial complex and the Congress and the Senate and the office of the president. What they always do, they destroy countries. Bad things happen out of it. We cry about the bad things, but we never blame the system that actually makes it happen. Whole globalism and fighting to colonize the world. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who's in government. It's about everybody getting together and forcing them to do the things that are sentient. And you don't do that because they put somebody in that you don't like or somebody that you love and you like the other person. Doesn't matter who's in government. You know, you live in this world. You should be making decisions that affect tomorrow, not 4 years down the road, 2 years down the road. That's just stupid. That's why I'm against any type of impeachment, because to me, it's just a gaslit conversation in this idea that things will get better by putting another king in office who works for the same big corporations or who is prey to the same oligarchs that actually control the government. Our collective consciousness is maturing. Linda, I think it is. I think it is. Linda, we couldn't talk like this 20 years ago. We couldn't talk like this 10 years ago. If we did this 10 years ago, Linda, it'd be you, me, and like one other person, right? Right now, people are starting to listen. I think they're starting to see through the cracks. It's not easy. It's not easy to wake up. Like I said, I was raised like the sister that's talking right. I was talking to a minute ago. She disappeared on me. You know, I was raised in that racial narrative that everything was about race. And I believed that because everybody around me said that. I was cultivated and raised up to believe in that until I realized everybody at the top of that narrative were all sellouts. And once I realized that, I realized, you know, you only got people who believe in your species and people who don't. You know, there are no subgroupings of humanity, and everything is about control. We'll rewatch later. Okay, thank you, Ish. Had to roll out. I'm about to roll out too. When the lights go out, no more distractions. And the lights are coming, Ty. That time is coming. Like I said, people, they think World War III is going to be fought on Instagram. I'm like, Ty, that is not how it works. They say, oh, World War III, we're going to watch it on Facebook. No, you're not. World War III is going to be on Instagram. We're going to watch the war. We're going to watch the war. It's like, you have no idea what people are capable of. You have no idea that your government ain't doing any damn thing to protect you. They might put a border wall up, but that's to keep you in. They ain't doing a damn thing to protect. When World War III starts, when y'all finish to get just gaslit and ignorant enough to start some sort of a conflict between the left or the right, or the blacks or the whites, or the Christians and the Muslims, or whatever dumb idea, whatever reality you live in, when you fight that and America starts to fall apart, World War III kicks in, you're just gonna see the lights go out. That's it. Nothing else. Ain't gonna be no broadcast. Ain't gonna be no Instagram, Insta-chat. You're not gonna see your president on Twitter telling you what's going on. You're gonna see the lights go out. Because the power grid in America is crappy as the power grid all over this planet, and everybody knows it. All they're gonna do is hit 2 or 3 substations in America. We'll have rolling blackouts for the next 10 years. They hit 5 or more, and we're gonna black out half the country. The lights are just gonna go out. That's gonna be your World War III. And you'll be like, what the hell is going on? And next thing you know, people will be in the street fighting and killing each other while your government is safely underground in a bunker, swimming in the pools. Elizabeth Warren and Trump and Obama and everybody down there playing, eating shrimps and steaks and stuff. That's if they get in the club, you know. If they're good at governing people, if they're good at getting you to follow them, then yeah, I think they earn their bunker key. And that's when they go up there. But we all gonna be up here killing each other, because you can take the sweetest pastor on this planet, the sweetest church member. I'm not even gonna say the Catholic Church because y'all done lost me a minute ago. Y'all done lost me with all this pedophilia nonsense, right? So you can take the nicest persons you know, and they are not gonna sit back and let their children starve. They're not. You got food in your house, they don't have food in their house. I'm sure they're real nice. They do the best that they can to not hurt you, to sneak in your house and grab a couple cans of beans and some rice. Starving people are capable of everything. You literally live around zombies. The only difference is the zombies you live around, they don't need to eat your brains right now because they can go to the grocery store for brains. When the lights go out, when a hard time comes, when the collapse happens, when the Great Depression comes, where do you think they're gonna come eat brains at? They're coming to your house. That's what I'm saying. This is an adult conversation. This is not a childish politic conversation. This is a conversation about preventing from what happens all the time. Preventing what's happened to every civilization since the beginning of the human race. Every empire has gone this way. If you don't listen to Chris Hedges, you need to. And he'll explain you what the collapse of an empire looks like, and we are right in the end times of it. We are a nation in decline. Government's sole job is to preserve the rights of its citizens. They do everything but that job. Exactly, Ish, because that used to be their job, and I agree with that. That makes sense. That was their job at one time. But once government became smaller than corporations, and corporations had more power than government, corporations bought the government. they did exactly what I would do. You know, it wasn't like a master scheme or plan. They just bought politician after politician after politician, this party, that party, both parties. Next thing you know, they have enough influence in both parties where everybody is voting for big oil. Everybody's voting for war. Everyone's voting for the military-industrial complex. Everyone's voting for pharmaceuticals and vaccines. Why? Because they bought enough chairs, and now you have oligarchical control of all of that. And now it's not about your rights. It's about taking your rights to sell more of the corporation's products and controlling you. At that point, you become a captive. That's why we're all enslaved to this nonsense. Once again, it's an adult conversation. It's an adult reality conversation. A person who has the ability to see through look behind the curtain, see through the fogs of war, all of these fogs of war that they put out there. What is a fog of war? If your narrative has you going after somebody that doesn't have $1 billion in the bank, it's a fog of war. If your narrative has you going against someone who didn't architect the system, it's a fog of war. You know, there might be a little angst that you might have for the elite of the elite of the elite that kind of keep the architecture going, but your main focus has to be the system. It has to be the architecture. It has to be the economics of it all. But if you're attacking other poor people, no matter what color, race, creed, or anything they are, then you are perpetuating this system. You are perpetuating the end of the human race. I was lucky because my son was a baby. I could be astray, and I lost it. I'm too far up in the comments. Let me go down. After I became a single parent, I got rid of the monster. My parents were the only people I let watch my kids. Laura, I barely let my mom watch. I barely did. But you know what? So Lori, I was vegetarian. My mama wasn't. My father wasn't. They like to sneak my kids hamburgers, McDonald's hamburgers. Lori, I was even on them. Y'all like think that, oh, well, he's tough on me. And he says, no, I'm not tough on anybody. I'm trying to do my job. My job is to say what's true. And my job as a parent was, oh no, listen, I didn't realize kids are healthier if they eat a lot more vegetables than meat. And my mama was always trying to sneak them Happy Meals and burgers. So I'd watch my mama. You went to grandmama's? Yeah, we went to grandmama's. What y'all eat? Daddy, we ate some broccoli and some French fries and we ate apple pie. Apple pie? Apple pie and French fries. From where? Grandma ain't cooking no apple pie no more. She used to make that when she don't make that no more. Where you get the apple pie? It was a McDonald's apple pie. It was a McDonald's apple pie. Do you got a toy? Yeah, Daddy put the toy behind his back. Is that a Happy Meal toy? You know, and like I said, I don't play. My goal is to make upgrades. It's not to make my kids clones of me. But upgrades based on the best medical health-related information that we have right now. And now you're not going to get that at McDonald's. If you don't know what a Happy Meal is, they come with toys and they always got a burger and some chicken or something in there. Raised in a factory farm that'll kill you. Let me see. A little of each system. What will work? Yes, Jack, and I'm agreeing with that. Like, I'm not against capitalism, communism, and socialism. Like, I think they all do certain things really, really good. But the type of system we have, it hadn't been created yet. So I think you take the best of all of it. It's like, Jack, it's like what I say about the education system, right? Like, if we get rid of this damn Department of Education, which is completely unconstitutional, you're not allowed to have it, you have different principals running different schools in different places, different ways. And the best of the best bubbles to the top. You take the best of what they're doing in Arkansas, and the best of what they're doing in Texas, the best of what they're doing in Maryland, and you start to merge together with a phenomenal school system that actually works for children and brings out their critical thought and their beauty and their creativity to make them a collective, working together for a better society, not indoctrinating them to be little gaslit clones that live in realities that allow the kings to have all the power. You know, so it's just like you take the best of both, all worlds. Like that is one thing that the free market is good at in terms of competition. You want competition, so the best of the best bubbles to the top. That's what I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna have to get out of here, man. All the Trumpsters did not give a damn about a wall before he stirred the stuff up. I know, Lori, but that's true, Lori. That is true. They didn't. But, you know, that was because it was a liberal thing, right? That was the whole Democrat, Hillary Clinton, the barrier or whatever. They didn't care. But he sold it. You got to give him credit for that. He just like Obama, he sold it. You know, and again, it's not an anti-Trump thing. I just think that they're given their narratives and they got to sell it. They either go the way of JFK or they sell the narrative, and he's great at selling it. And I think to be a president, you got to be charismatic. You know, is pedophilia coming over the border? Hell yeah, it is. There are reports of that a long time ago, so we know it is. But to me, it comes in everywhere. And they're kind of focused on the wall and the border as opposed to the fact that we shouldn't have a system that allows children to be abused. Like, to me, the answer isn't stopping the kids from coming in. The answer is stopping the government that's okay with it. And if you go back to the Welfare Reform Act of 1994, Clinton, I've mentioned all the time, Title IV-E, when they legalized child trafficking in America, where they could come to an American, do a completely unconstitutional, un-Bill of Rights thing and steal your children from you for whatever reason. At first, it was just abuse. But then they made it into steal the kids for any reason, and now they do that. You know, so child trafficking is 100% a United States system business that's big, big money. And so to me, it's the system that's the problem. And I don't think walls help that. I think the only thing that stops that is Americans stepping up finally and just saying, you know what, we're not going for it no more. We're not playing that game no more. All right, let me see. Let me go down to the bottom. Let me get out of here. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of comments. I'm sorry, y'all. It got late. Pedophilia has always been everywhere. Everywhere, Lori. And it thrives in areas where there's war. All right. Everywhere. Kids are abused everywhere. But the #1 abusive area is not the home of the parents. You know, one of the highest is the foster care home. But bigger than that, it's a destabilized country. It's a country where kids have no protection. It's a country where there is no order. And when there is no order and there's a lot of poverty and scarcity, then people sell children. They kill children. They abuse children. And so any nation that makes it their line of business, the main source of their GDP is war and violence and destruction and destroying nations, that is a nation that thrives on pedophilia. So I'm not interested in the Democrat pedophilia, Republican pedophilia. It's just this point that you're creating societies where this thing thrives. And because it's not an American society, you're okay with it. Right? That's my problem with this whole American supremacy thing, right? Like, I got it. I got it. I live here. Everything I got came from somebody killing somebody else, this elite supremacy stuff. So I'm not interested in, like, saying fighting over because I don't have as much supremacy as you got. My issue is that nobody around the world should be suffering under anybody's supremacy. You know, and so so I'll use all the supremacy that I have, whether it be American or black or education, college, worked in corporate America, got my mouth. I'll use all my supremacies, all my privileges to try to equal things out, because that's what we're supposed to do. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Somebody got a last comment so I can run. The wisdom you provide, Gerard, is the moral of the story. Thank you, my brother. And it's not my wisdom, brother Kevin. I appreciate it. It's not my wisdom. I'm a parakeet. I'm trying to take us back to what all of our ancients said, right? I'm trying to take us back to what all our ancestors said. I'm trying to take us back to what most of our grandparents said, right? We forgot wisdom. And we became tribal in these false realities. And I think we need to go back to that. So anyway, listen, I get out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. I'll post the link so y'all can watch it. Thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing.